The latest 3 News poll provides some welcome relief after months of pain for Prime Minister Helen Clark. Her Labour Party makes some significant ground on National. John Key and his party can still govern but need some help from their friends. The poll also shows a massive turnaround in an area Clark holds dear to her heart. Political editor Duncan Garner joins us now with the details. Hi Duncan.
Hi Karen. Well, Helen Clark has been behind John Key in the prized preferred Prime Minister stakes for a year now, but tonight she regains that mantle.
You've got to know not to trust him.
It's perhaps the most talked about attempt at singing in the land that even Labour insiders now concede was bad judgment. John Key reacted, calling it a personal attack.
Are they all just a bit too busy engaging in low-grade personal attacks on me?
To that, the Prime Minister indicated Key should just harden up.
Diddums.
But the attacks on Key for being a vacuous, empty space appear to be working. In this 3 News poll, National drops 3 to 48 and Labour goes up 3 to 38. The Greens subside slightly to 5.8. Winston Peters' New Zealand First is 3.4. That's up a nudge, but clearly his attacks on immigrants and free trade deals appear to have failed to capture voters' imaginations. The Māori Party is up to 2.9. ACT and United Future barely register.
Madam Speaker.
So take these results into Parliament, and despite National's 10-point lead, it needs 2 coalition partners, ACT and United Future, and National only just governs with 62 seats. Labour, the Greens, the Māori Party and Jim Anderton's Progressives make 60. It shows MMP still favours Labour, Clark and her friends.
This is worth a huge amount to New Zealand.
Fresh from her China trip, Helen Clark can once again raise her glass because she regains her preferred Prime Minister trophy. She's been trailing Key for exactly a year. She leaps 4 to 32 and Key slumps 6 to 29. Winston Peters is up 1.
Let's just do it.
And despite the stolen cliches, voters think Clark's performing better than she has for 2 years. She's up to 62 and down amongst those who think she's doing poorly. And Key's at times muddling leadership has him drop to 52 among those who think he's doing well and up 4 among those who think he's doing poorly. So there's a lesson in this for National. It needs to take some positions on policy. That's different to Labour. It needs to stand for something because this poll shows that Helen Clark ain't dead yet. In fact, the results give her a new spring to her step as she fights to make sure this isn't her last dance.
The real pressure now goes back on the Labour Party and Finance Minister Michael Cullen, who will release his budget in almost exactly a month's time, especially given the tough economic conditions and indicators that are now appearing throughout the economy. He really needs to make this kind of a circuit breaker budget, which he says he actually doesn't believe that budgets can win elections. Just one point that we have been saying for a number of months now, we've been thinking that the Labour Party may well cut taxes before the election on October the 1st. Sources in the government have indicated to me today that perhaps they're now looking at next year, given that the tax revenues may well be down because of the economy over this winter. So it looks like the government is pushing those tax cuts back now to April 1 next year.
OK, Duncan, tell me, what more does the poll tell us about Winston Peters' fortunes?
Well, it tells us he's in a bit of trouble, really, because he had those attacks on immigration and the free trade deal, and it doesn't appear to have captured voters' imaginations in there. Look, he's away again in Europe this week in Anzac Cove in Turkey, so he must come back over the coming months and really step it up because he is facing perhaps oblivion at the next election. It's not in Winston Peters' mood or mindset to be out of here. He wants to be back, so it will start becoming desperate for Winston Peters over the coming months. Carolyn.
Duncan Garner, thank you.